Welcome to Staffworks Explained. If it's your first time here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Also, hit the notification bell so that when you upload a new video, you are notified. In this video, we'll be trying to answer the question that has been there for some time on how Talanta Stadium, which is being constructed in Kenya, will be funded. The stadium is almost 50% complete. But one of the questions that is lingering, where is the government getting the money for this project? We'll start by looking at the way that this project will be funded and also look at the challenges that it has met. According to recent reports, particularly sourced from Business Daily, Capital Markets Authority, CMA, has approved a Kenya shillings 47 billion asset-backed security, ABS, issuance for financing the construction of the Talanta Sports City Stadium in Nairobi. This marks the first instance of such a financial instrument being utilized in Kenya's infrastructure development. The asset-backed security will be managed through Lindsay Finco, a special purpose vehicle SPV established by Liaison Group. The asset-backed security is a financial instrument that pools various income-generating assets and issues securities backed by these assets to investors. In this context, the ABS, or asset-backed security, is expected to be backed by future revenue streams from the stadium, such as ticket sales, concessions, as well as other related income. This method of financing allows the mobilization of substantial capital upfront, which is essential for large-scale projects like Talanta Sports City Stadium. Lindsay Finco, as the SPV or special purpose vehicle, is responsible for coordination and the mobilizing of these 47 billion through capital markets. It will oversee the allocation and management of the funds to ensure that the project financial integrity and transparency, as well as isolating the financial risk associated with the stadium construction from the parent companies and investors. Talanta Sports City Stadium is a 60,000-seat facility which is being constructed at Jamhuri grounds along Ngong Road in Nairobi. The groundbreaking ceremony was presided over by President William Ruto on March 1st, 2024, with the project scheduled to be completed by December 2025. The stadium is being built by China Road and Bridge Construction, CRBC, under the supervision of Kenya Defence Forces, KDF Engineering Department. The project is structured as a public-private partnership between the government of Kenya and an undisclosed private entity. However, the project funding and implementation have faced some scrutiny. In March 2025, Sports Principal Secretary Peter Twum was questioned by the Parliamentary Committee of Sports regarding the project's financing and the role the military is playing in its execution. The Permanent Secretary or Principal Secretary was unable to provide clear details on the project cost and funding sources, leading to concerns among the lawmakers. Further concerns were raised in an audit report by the Auditor General, which questioned the expenditure of 1.2 billion Kenya shillings on the ground where the stadium is being constructed. The report highlighted issues such as demolition of existing facilities, non-functional street lights, and vandalized fencing, casting doubt on the value of money being realized from the expenditure. As of the latest reports, the construction of the Talanta Sports Complex was 37% complete in March this year, and it's expected that the 60,000-seater stadium will be completed by December 2025. This is ahead of the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations Afcon, which is being co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. However, despite this completion, which is now almost 50%, only a small amount of money, at that time it was 2 billion, which was about 12% of the total project cost, has been paid to the Chinese firm which is building this project. And this raised concerns over the project financing pacing. The revelation was made by Defense Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya while appearing before the National Assembly Committee on Sports and Culture. The Ministry of Defense, as you have seen, is supervising the construction through the Kenya Defense Forces, which is tasked with ensuring that the strict timelines are followed as the country races to meet the CAF or CAF Confederation of African Football requirements. The mismatch between the construction progress and the financial disbursement present potential risks. According to the construction's best practices, delay in payment can disrupt procurement of materials and delay subcontractor remuneration and potentially lead to work stoppages or legal claims by contractors. A project which is nearly 50% built ideally should have received corresponding percentage of payment, or at least significantly more than just what it has received, 5%, and this to maintain momentum as well as morale on the site. If the pace of the funding does not catch up with the construction schedule, the project timelines could be affected, with downstream impacts on Kenya's ability to host the Afcon 2027. The stadium planned completion in December 2025 leaves about some few months for testing, certification, as well as integration into broader tournament infrastructure, assuming it stays on schedule. While these timelines may surface in real circumstances, any delay from payment lags, labor disputes, supply chain issues, bureaucratic inefficiency could eat into the buffer period. Kenya has a troubled history with major tournaments hosting rights. The country has lost out on hosting the 1996 Afcon, and more recently it was stripped of 2018 African Nations CHAN due to infrastructure shortfalls. Joint bid with Uganda and Tanzania for Afcon 2027 was seen as a fresh opportunity to redeem the country's standing on the continental football stage. However, observers note that the same pitfalls, slow procurement, funding mismatches, political inertia, could once again threaten the realization of the dream. The government decision to bring the military into the supervisory role reflects a strategy shift to inject discipline and speed into the project execution. But that alone may not suffice. Timely financing, clear accountability, and close CAF coordination will be essential to avoiding repeating the past. With CMA approval of the asset-backed security, this provides a potential pathway to secure the necessary funding for the project completion. The use of an asset-based backed security in this context is unprecedented in Kenya, and its success could pave the way for similar financing models in future infrastructure projects. As Kenya prepares to co-host 2027 Africa Cup of Nations Afcon alongside Uganda and Tanzania, the timely completion of the Talanta Sports City Stadium remains a critical objective. The project's progress and financial management will continue to be closely monitored by stakeholders and the public. In conclusion, we can say that the approval of the 47 billion asset-backed security by the Capital Markets Authority represents a pivotal moment in Kenya approach to infrastructure financing. By leveraging future revenues through a structured financial instrument, the Talanta Sports City project introduces a new mechanism aimed at addressing persistent funding delays and financial opacity. While the stadium construction is progressing ahead of the schedule, the glaring mismatch between physical progress and financial disbursement exposes vulnerability that, if not well addressed, could jeopardize Kenya's readiness to host Afcon 2027. The use of an SPV in the form of Lindsay Finco is intended to impose financial discipline, isolate risk, as well as restore investor and public confidence. However, the success of this model will ultimately be judged not by innovation alone, but by its execution, whether the project is delivered on time, budget, and up to CAF standards. With the country's track record of missed deadlines and revoked hosting rights, the stakes are high. Kenya must demonstrate that it can not only plan ambitiously, but can also deliver with precision. So thank you for reaching this far. If it's your first time here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Also hit the notification bell so that whenever you upload a new video, you are notified. You can also leave your thought about this initiative.